Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. We're getting into the Christmas spirit early here with a spoiler-free review of Spirited on Apple TV, directed by Shawn Anders and starring Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell and Octavia Spencer. This is a musical rehash of A Christmas Carol, but this time it's set in modern day, where Will Ferrell, as the ghost of Christmas Present, must teach Ryan Reynolds some hard truths and make him a better person this Christmas. So what did I like about Spirited? The set design was outstanding. It really was. A lot of effort was clearly put into every routine, every costume, every prop, and it definitely deserves some credit. It's filmed very nicely. There was some smooth cinematography and nice framing with a good colour scheme throughout. And the editing also matched it well. I know it's a small detail, but as someone who does a lot of editing themselves, there were these small moments that popped out to me and made me realise, damn, that must have been really hard to do, but you've pulled it off really well. And that's where I have to turn into Grumpy Elliot and begin the cons. Put your seatbelt on, people, it's about to go off. These songs are more than forgettable. They just talk about what they're doing and what they're feeling, rather than making it a memorable feel-good track. And on top of that, all of the songs sound identical to each other, equally being as forgettable as the last one. There's also far too many songs. I swear there's about 6 songs within the first 10-20 minutes, and it's just overkill. And the only one I can recall as being worthwhile was Good Afternoon. I also thought the performances were a little bit phoned in. If you compare Will Ferrell's energy in this movie to his energy in Elf, it's like comparing a decade-old corpse to a 3-year-old having an ADHD fit. Yeah, he's just doing the bare minimum here. And Ryan Reynolds is just doing the Ryan Reynolds stick. He's not a character. He's just Ryan Reynolds. This plot is so confused. How do you fuck up retelling The Christmas Carol this badly? There's even jokes in here about how lazy this is and how nobody asked for this. So the people making it are aware that this is utter shit. Is that what you're trying to say? Are you basically telling me to turn it off while I've still got the chance and I don't have to suffer the rest of it? That's not a good sign. And it's so damn long. It's 2 hours and honestly, it felt like 4. That's how many dumb left turns and right turns this movie decides to take before coming anywhere near to some sort of a conclusion. I honestly didn't laugh once. In fact, I found it funnier to fake laugh at their attempts of humour. First Canadian he's seen without mittens. Get it? Because Canada's cold. That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. In fact, it became more interesting to me and Mrs. IMO to predict the joke that was coming because it was that telegraphed. In one scene, time freezes and a ball is stopped in mid-air. And I predicted that personally, when time resumed, the ball would go flying through a window. Mrs. IMO begged to differ. She thought it was going to hit the woman on the head. Mrs. IMO was right. But we took more joy from that conversation and prediction than anything the film ever offered us. They also have this thing, and it seems to be a running theme because I can say this about Disenchanted as well, but songs get interrupted only to ask a question and then start again. And apparently, this is good comedy. And it's so confused about what its target audience is. Who is this film for? It's sort of for the kids, but not really. And it's sort of for the family, but not really. There's an awful lot of hiding the swear for humour, which equally makes no sense because there's actually a ton of swearing in this movie, so what is the point of hiding the swear? I had a headache when watching this film, and I might have closed my eyes for 5 minutes, and honestly, it kind of turned into a fever dream for me. I am not afraid to admit that I have always had a bit of a blind spot with musicals and have always personally struggled, but to do a bad one with a headache, Christ give me strength. But somehow this movie, this Christmas movie, made me anti-Christmas, and that is clearly not what it is trying to achieve. But none of it felt genuine, none of it felt heartfelt. It's so messy and factory made, with its storylines chopping and changing on the whims of hitting social messaging rather than actually telling an interesting story. I even thought the dancing was generic. The whole thing was generic, to be honest. They only seem to have 2 dance moves. The wafter, who does this, or the twirler, who does this. So I'm going to give Spirited a 2 out of 10. This should have been on Broadway. Seeing this live on a stage, I think it actually could have worked, because the pageantry of it would really excel. Whereas being framed on a camera, it just doesn't do it any justice at all, nor does the fun translate. You don't feel involved, you're just watching people sing and dance, and you're waiting for this one to end and move on to the next one. And that ultimately is all I can praise the film for. The names that are going to be running through the credits that you won't know or recognise, that will not get the same credit and praise that a Ryan Reynolds or a Will Ferrell will get. Truth be told, they're the real stars of the show here, and I hope people do look past the fact that this movie is god-awful and appreciate how hard these people very clearly worked and how much skill and talent that they have, because they do. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Spirited? Did you like it? Maybe I'm being too harsh. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't had enough of my ranting and raving, why don't you click on these suggested videos right here? I guarantee they're well worth the watch. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.